Hello and welcome to Pittsburgh City Council's regular meeting for Tuesday, July 9th, 2019. My name is Kim Clark Baskin and I'm your Deputy City Clerk. With us today, we have our sign language interpreter, Dean Engelhoff. The following is a list of legislation to be introduced by Pittsburgh City Council. Councilman Reverend Ricky Burgess presents Bill number 1842, resolution authorizing, pursuant to Chapter 210, acceptance of gifts to the city of the City Code, the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Safety to accept a donation from the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh of $5,000 to be deposited into the Public Safety Support Trust Fund. Bill number 1843, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Dickey, McCamey, and Chilcote, P.C., in an amount not to exceed $4,100.80 for professional legal services in connection with police matters. Bill number 1850, resolution accepting the dedication of a portion of an unnamed way in the Lincoln, Leamington, Belmore neighborhood, 12th Ward, 9th Council District. Councilman Corey O'Connor presents Bill number 1844, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the White Horse Apartments at 1611 East Carson Street. Bill number 1845, resolution adopting the plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for 3350 Penn Avenue, 3404 Penn Avenue, and 207 34th Street, Pittsburgh 15201. Bill number 1846, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewage facilities plan for the Peterson Sports Complex at 385 Champions Drive, Pittsburgh 15213. Councilwoman Teresa Kell Smith presents Bill number 1847, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to apply for grant funding from the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority's Green Revitalization of Our Waterways program to renovate the site surrounding the First Tee Clubhouse located in the Bob O'Connor Golf Course in Shenley Park. Cost not to exceed $850,000 for this stated purpose. Bill number 1848, resolution authorizing the mayor and the director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement between the City of Pittsburgh and the 9 Mile Run Watershed Association located at 321 Penwood Avenue, number 202, Pittsburgh 15221, for the provision of wetland mitigation monitoring and reporting as required by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection. Cost not to exceed $50,000, distributed over a period of 4 years. And Council President Bruce Kraus presents Bill number 1849, resolution appointing Michael Gerard Bartley to serve as a member of the Commission on Human Relations, term to expire July 31st, 2023. That concludes the legislation to be introduced. Thank you and have a great day.
Good morning, everyone, and welcome to this regular meeting of Pittsburgh City Council for today, Tuesday, July the 9th, 2019. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess, Mr. Coghill, Ms. Gross, Mrs. Harris.
Here.
Mr. LaBelle, Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kell Smith.
Here.
Ms. Strasburger.
Here.
Mr. Kraus present.
Here.
5 members present.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Would you all please rise for the Pledge of Allegiance? We ask that you would please then remain standing for a moment of silence. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. You may be seated. Our first order of business is proclamations, and Councilwoman Harris, you have 2 to be presented.
One.
Oh, I'm sorry. I have. Okay, that's fine. Thank you, Councilwoman. Is everything okay now?
Hey, would all those with Northside Leadership friends come forward, please? Okay. And we had our great dinner this year again. What is this, 36 years now for the dinner? I still remember those days when we were pumping those balloons for the middle of the tables. And now it's quite different. Some could stand on the steps and then come on over. I don't bite. You can come all the way over. Yeah.
We're not declaring the independence of the city of Allegheny.
But it's a wonderful dinner, and each neighborhood gets to honor someone in their neighborhood. And we have scholarship recipients, and Mark can tell you what amount of money we're up to now in the lifetime achievements. This proclamation reads, whereas the Northside Leadership Conference is a coalition of 14 Northside neighborhoods and other community stakeholders serving the entire Northside, which covers 20% of the city, the largest service area of any community development corporation, CDC, in the city. And whereas the Northside Leadership Conference is committed to address mutual concerns of the Northside neighborhoods through a united approach in order to promote, enhance, vitalize quality of life and image of Pittsburgh's Northside, making it the largest and most comprehensive CDC in Pittsburgh. And whereas on June 13, 2019, at the Priory Grand Hall, the community gathered for the 36th Annual Northside Leadership Conference Awards Dinner to honor 2019 awardees recipients. And the business in the neighborhoods, we have Holly Puce. She was from Allegheny West Civic Council. California Coffee Bar, which is a great place to go. That's Susie and Sarah from Brighton Heights. Israel Williams from Charles Street area. If you're here, just raise your hand. Okay. And then we have Dennis from East Allegheny Community Council, Matt from Fine View Citizens Council, Joanna from Observatory Hill, Reverend Eleanor Williams, Perry Hilltop Citizens Council, Lois and her late husband Jim from Spring Hill Civic League, Keith and Annette Simmons from Summer Hill Citizens Committee. This writing gets smaller and smaller. Okay, and our scholarship recipients, I'm going to let Mark go through them when he comes up. Our Lifetime Achievement awardees, Jane and Rich Sestrick from Observatory Hill, Alan Perry from Manchester, Randy Gibson, and the late David Paul Francis McDermott from Allegheny City Central. And the service provider this year was the Urban Impact Foundation. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh hereby recognizes and honors the 2019 awardees and extends gratitude to each individual and organization for making the North Side a great place to live, work, and play. And be it further resolved that the Council acknowledges the efforts of the Northside Leadership Conference has achieved through collaboration within the community and the corporate organizations, and hereby declares July 2019 to be Northside Leadership Conference Awardees Month in the city of Pittsburgh.
May I have a motion and a second, please?
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Motion passes. Thank you and congratulations.
Since you're going to go with the awardees.
You want me to do the scholarship?
Yeah, my eyes just...
She's finally figured out how not to have to read all those names. She'll make me screw them up. All right. Our scholarship recipients this year, Cameron Brown of Manchester from Barack Obama, Michaela DiCarlo of Brighton Heights from Barack Obama Academy, Javon Corbett Sparks of Spring Hill, City Charter High, Melvina Black of Charles Street Valley, Pittsburgh Perry, Sharon Sorgel, Summer Hill, Agora Cyber, Myra Samuel, Charles Street Valley, Swickley Academy, Dominique Ross of Brighton Heights, Pittsburgh Kappa, Lauren Krebs of Summer Hill, North Catholic, Isaiah Dean, Perry Hilltop, City Charter, Savannah Zink, Observatory Hill, City Charter, Lydia Petruzza of Spring Hill, Pittsburgh Kappa, Isabella Johnson of 5U, Central Catholic High, Lanny Owens, Observatory Hill, Barack Obama, and Kiana Copeland, Brighton Heights, Pittsburgh Kappa, and finally Brady Walker, Brighton Heights, Pittsburgh Science and Technology Academy. This year, the Northside Leadership Conference crossed the $270,000 threshold. We have given more than $250,000 in scholarships to our Northside kids over the years. They're the future. That's why we do that. We reinvest in them. So for our kids, please acknowledge those wonderful young people. The North Side has a strong history of volunteerism, and that's one of the reasons the dinner was created 36 years ago, was to acknowledge the people who volunteer in the neighborhoods and make this place better. Staff can do so much, but it really is the foundation created by all those volunteers in each of those neighborhoods, and it's great to be able to recognize those folks and give them their roses while we have them and while they're still active. So to our neighborhood volunteers and to our Lifetime Achievement Award winners who've been recognized for long service to Northside, we deeply appreciate all of their work and thank them for their efforts. The theme, The theme of the dinner this year was Northside under construction. And if you drive around, or if you're like us, you live there, you see a lot of it. From hotels to houses, from businesses to mixed-use buildings, from the fountain in the North Commons across from Allegheny General, and right across the street, a new cancer center at Allegheny General. There's a lot going on. Now, the reason there is all that activity is because Northsiders have been fighting for their neighborhoods, for their places, for decades. They've now built and strengthened those neighborhoods so there is a strong market for private investment. And that's what's happening. All those years of polishing, protecting, fighting are now reaping the rewards because of the vision of Northside neighborhoods. And that's why we're now under construction. There's a lot going on. So I want to thank particularly Councilwoman Harris and Councilman Lavelle for attending. Also the mayor and the county executive were at the dinner, and thank them. We welcome all of you guys to join us in the future. But again, appreciate also the Priory Grand Hall, but most importantly, our young people and our volunteers. Thank you.
Okay, I'm going to ask a few of them if they'd like to come up and speak. Starting out with our great coffee shop here.
Well, thank you so much for having us today. We are really, really honored to have participated in this. We have been in business for about 2.5 years, and we live in Brighton Heights, so we were really excited to be able to be a participant in the business district along California Avenue. We love partnering with the California Cycle Path. They're absolutely awesome. And we have some amazing neighbors with Tom Fridays, with the doggy daycare next door. And there's just so many interesting things that are happening right now in Brighton Heights. We're excited to be Northsiders. We're both newcomers to the area, relatively so. We've been there for about 6 years. And I can't imagine living anywhere else in the city. It is absolutely an incredible neighborhood, and we're really grateful for all of our friends and neighbors, and to have the opportunity to participate in things with the Northside Leadership Conference. We're doing the We Like Bikes program right now. We do the Mardi Gras program. There's so many interesting ways that they engage and move across the entire North Side. So we're excited to be a part of that, and thank you again for having us today.
First of all, I want to thank every city council of having us here today. My name is Alan Perry. I'm from Manchester, North Side, part of the 14 different communities on the North Side. And I just want to say it's an honor to be to get an award as a Lifetime Achievement Award for many years that I have participated as far as volunteering and scouting. And scouting is a very, very important organization. And I just want to, these are just some recent statistics. Out of 100 scouts, boys who joined Boy Scouts of America, 64% of them joined the Air Force Academy. 68% West Point graduates, 70% Indianapolis graduates, 72% Rhodes Scholars, 85% are FBI agents, 85% are student council presidents when they were scouts. 89% were senior presidents when they were scouts, class presidents at school. These are just a few. One scout out of the different merit badge, one would use the scouting skills that they earn. They will save a life. And I just want to say, we have one Eagle Scout who's here who saved a life when he was a freshman at the University of Pittsburgh, what happens to be my son. I just want to recognize him, okay? Eagle Scout class of 2004, okay? But I believe in being proactive. I want to thank everyone, and scouting is something that we need here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, and then I guess we'll have some of our students come up. Who's? Come on, don't be scared.
Okay. My name is Lydia Petruzza. I went to Kappa, and I'll be going to New York University next year to study social work. I just want to say thank you to the Northside Leadership Conference. I think it's really important to invest back into the community and recognize volunteers and people who are uplifting the other people around them in their neighborhood. And I'm really proud to be from the North Side. Thank you.
Thank you.
I'm from Spring Hill.
There we go.
All right, so I'm kind of tall. Hi, my name is Javon Corbett Sparks. Originally I was from the east side, but I moved over to the north side about 16 years ago, almost 17. And for me to be so young at that age, the north side actually made a home for me. I used to live in the Perry Hilltop area. Now I live in Spring Hill. Everything is very nice. I would like to thank those from the Northside Leadership Conference for giving me the scholarship. This coming August, I will be attending Indiana University of Pennsylvania, majoring in English, and hopefully become a published writer like I've always wanted to do my whole life. And thanks to Northside Leadership Conference for giving me that start.
Hello, my name is Kiana Copeland. I went to Kappa as well. I'm from Brighton Heights, and I'll be attending Temple University this coming school year. And I just wanted to say thank you so much to the Northside Leadership Conference for the scholarship. It will really help me this school year. And thank you.
Hi, I'm Savannah Zink. I live in the Perry Hilltop. I live close to the Observatory Hill, close by where Shores Bakery closed. And I am very glad about this organization, hear how they want to improve volunteering here, especially on the north side, because of how all these companies are going down, especially where I live. So I am very glad that this organization is here today to help all these companies where I live.
Okay. Okay, thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman O'Connor, I believe you have one proclamation to be read into the record.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
I gave them both to her.
Mr. O'Connor presents, now therefore be it resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh does hereby commend the Vintage Grand Prix for being the nation's largest vintage sports car racing event, for providing the public free of charge with 10 days of excitement, top vintage cars for public viewing, and for pursuing their philanthropic duty, as a fundraiser for the Autism Society of Pittsburgh and Allegheny Valley School for 35 successful years. And be it further resolved that the Council of the City of Pittsburgh declares July 7th through the 21st, 2019 to be Pittsburgh Vintage Grand Prix Day in the City of Pittsburgh.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion and a second, please?
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Motion passes. Thank you. That concludes the proclamation portion of the council meeting and takes us into public comment. Excuse me. Anyone wishing to speak before public comment, of course, will have 3 minutes in which to do so. I would like to take this time to remind everyone here to speak that the rules of council are clear when they state that comment is limited to matters of concern, official action, or deliberation which are at this time or could at another time come before the council. We do not permit profanity, and we will maintain order at all times. We ask that you please begin by giving your name and the neighborhood in which you reside for a public record. The green light will indicate the start of your 3 minutes. When the yellow light comes on, you will have 1 minute to summarize your thoughts. When the red light comes on, your time will have expired. Good morning, Harry. Welcome.
My name's Harry Liller, 438 Ruxin Street, Mount Washington. 2 months ago, I proposed a civilian police review board countywide here at City Council and at County Council and at this Pittsburgh Civilian Police Review Board meeting. The media has a moral obligation to tell the public what goes on public meetings, except when it comes to me. I was led to believe that Councilman DeWitt Walton was going to support my Civilian Police Review Board meeting. To my surprise, he went like this to me at the council meeting. And you guys tell me I have to keep by your rules, but you're all allowed to do evil, racist things to me. His lame proposal, and I asked him, I said, does your proposal make the police accountable? He goes, no. I said, then why would you bring it up? That's when he went like that to me. So he's allowed to use the F word on me, and there's 30 law enforcement people laughing at me. Where's the Pittsburgh media? They're hiding on the floors below. Channel 4 won't let Sheldon Ingram do his job because I have to go to county council again today. And they keep threatening me with jail. DeFazio had 4 deputies on me, and the media laughs at me. We have to go signatures. Mr. Burgess, Mr. Lavelle, you're not even here. I need 30,000 signatures from the black community and every church in this county to put it on the ballot. That's how corrupt everything is. Mr. Lavelle, I'm glad to see you. I need the black community to get 30,000 signatures for my Civilian Police Review Board proposal to be on the ballot. When we did this 20 years ago, I tried to get signatures in Beachview that we used to call Cop Town. I couldn't get one. This lady pushed me aside and said, they will hunt us down. Our names will be on the signatures. They will hunt us down. So during that election, I was at the fire department in Beachview. I had a big poster of my sister when she was brutalized and given death threats. But the media won't tell you that. So I told everybody, when you're in that voting booth, nobody can tell you what to do. And the fire department was all, don't listen to this guy, don't listen to this guy. Well, I was there all day. When we counted the votes in Cop Town, we were 23 shy votes of a majority. So if we get this on the ballot, 45% of the white people will vote for it, and 99% of the black people will vote for it. But Walton, the county council, DeFazio, and Fitzgerald won't put it on the ballot.
Thanks, Harry.
I could be thrown in jail tonight. I'll be here tomorrow.
Thank you, Harry. Thanks for being here. May we have the next speaker, please?
Sorry, I thought they wanted to speak first. My name is Yvonne F. Brown, and I was listening to Steve Harvey in the morning, and they were talking about the problems with this Halle Berry being the because she's black being a mermaid. Well, me, myself, I feel the same way that they do. Is there any mermaids out there that want to fight for her? You just can swim. I'll stand on the land and protest because I can't swim. Black mermaids do matter. Another thing I wanted to say was this. Up in the parking lot, the PBG parking lot, they're making more parking spaces. They're making more parking spaces. But the problem is that the seniors up in K. Leroy Irvis Tires are worried. They say, what are they going to do with us? What are they going to do with us? They believe, and I do too, the way you're moving up, you're going to get rid of the building and make parking lots for this park that you're going to put down there. A park. You understand you're going to put a park? Why don't you put low-income housing? Low-income housing is not a park. And where you put the park at, that's going to be for the homeless people. People don't come over that far, and you know it. Another thing I have to say today is that today would have been my son's birthday. Anthony C. Johnson, he would have been 53 today. And I wanted to say this to you and Antoine's mother, because we can't feel her pain, but I can sure feel her loss. She lost a son, just like I lost mine. My problem is this, that you have the cops shooting him in the back. My son was on the floor, and he was saying, I have one lung. He was crying. He was calling them men. He was saying, man, I have one lung. Just like I was trying to tell the policeman when I went to make a harassment report, and he wouldn't take it. I said, even when my son was dying, he was calling you policemen men. Men. He said, man, I have one lung. When he refused to take my harassment, he placed me in a place where I could lose my freedom because he refused to take the harassment of the social worker running up on me and another elderly lady. He ran up and calling me names. She ran out crying. Do you know the policeman would not take that? He told me he works there. I said, I live there. Because a social worker, 6 years of college, he can run up on it. I'm from the street. See, I don't know all that he knows. I didn't have all that education. But he refused to take mine.
Thank you, Ms. Brown. May we have our next speaker, please? Good morning. Welcome.
Good morning, Council. My name is Kip Jackson. I'm the owner of KMJ Enterprises, a landscaping company of 25 years. I'm here to appeal to the council for the allocation of more funds that are needed for vacant land maintenance. I'm currently a participant in the land care program that the URA is supporting. And I just wanted to share with you some of the things that, as a contractor, that I've experienced and some of my concerns that I have. From my understanding, I was reading some of the data that Grounded had collected in regards to some of the effects and some of the money that is allocated for the land care maintenance. And my understanding is about $450,000 allocated for over, from what I understand, well over 10,000 vacant lots. I participated in a meeting that Carol Henderman had. She's with the Consensus Group in the Hill. And from my understanding that the city of Pittsburgh is one of the largest landowners, single landowners in the city. And so my contract services the Hill District. And some of the things that I'm seeing, and I'll get to one of my major concerns, is that when we're providing snow removal services, and I see parents trying to get their kids off to school in the mornings, and none of the sidewalks are cleared, and they're walking in the streets trying to drag their kids off to the bus stop. If you guys are the largest landowner in, say, various communities, I service the Hill District, and this is what I'm seeing, then I'm compelled to come to you to say that you have an obligation to maintain your properties. And I hope that you guys will understand that there are more resources needed to provide basic services. And we can get into some of the meat and potatoes, and I'm sure some of you guys are aware of some of the needs and some of the, safety issues that exist out there. But maybe about a month ago, I went to go service a lot in the Hill, and as you know, that there's some side streets. So as I turn up into the side street, on both sides of the street, the vegetation is taller than I am. And then off of a side street, there was another side street where there had to be like 2 houses. I met a guy, I think his name was Jaboka or something like that, an elderly man. He was 85, he had dreads. But there was no lighting. All the lots around his property, the vegetation was, like I said, higher than I am. And there are some major safety concerns in regards to just how the elderly is living in the communities. And I just think that the city has a responsibility to address some of these issues. And so my appeal, and the reason why I'm here today, is that you guys will find the funds to make the difference.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Good morning.
Morning. Hello, I'm Thomas Gettner. I'm here with the Land Care Network as well. I'm the Director of Land Stewardship with Landforce. We are a workforce development nonprofit. I want to thank you all for having me here today. I'm here to discuss the ongoing issues with vacant land and maintenance across the city. With just $450,000 allocated annually to address what is in reality a multi-million-dollar problem, we are losing a chance to engage community members in valuable work that benefits the entire city. Most of these lots are in low-income, disadvantaged communities. For most residents of these communities, the feeling of being left behind manifests itself in these neglected lots and the lack of employment opportunities. This problem is cyclical. I'm here to support this request for increased funding for vacant land management and to allow community-based businesses such as KIPS to participate in the maintenance of these lots as part of a solution to the problem. The community impact of this, like I said, is cyclical. If you're a kid who grows up in one of these communities that sees people throwing garbage on the ground, or you see neglected land, you think that that is normal. You'll grow up thinking that's normal. You will vote thinking that's normal, and that is not normal. That's why this problem is cyclical. As the adults in the room, we need to do something about it. In each of these neighborhoods lies the capacity to solve this problem, but they need to feel empowered by the people that are in this room today, and they need to feel supported by the decisions that you'll make. So in closing, I want to thank you for entertaining this. We need more money released for community groups to maintain some of these vacant lands throughout the city, and we need that badly. It provides employment opportunities, that puts more taxes back into the city. It creates a better atmosphere to grow up in, for people to want to live here, for businesses to want to invest here. By taking care of these lands, we're doing a great service to the next generation of Pittsburghers. Thank you very much.
Yeah, thank you, Tom. Thank you. Okay, good morning, Dr. Miller.
Dr. Ronald N. Miller, Pittsburgh City Dulles Hoover, and Lincoln City, Nebraska. Global Intelligence Society candidate for President 2020, globalintelligencesociety.org. The child is central. RLM and GIS Principle 7 on Twitter, tweets 13 to 20. July 2019 is GIS-sponsored African Intelligence Month. Musicological Oral Intelligence, Clifford Brown, Roy Hargrove, trumpeters. Visual Oral Somatic Intelligence, Richard Roundtree, actor, and male breast cancer survivor, Shaft. Biological, genetic, and chemical intelligences, Dr. Percy Julian, pioneer in the synthesis of human sex hormones, progesterone, testosterone, from plant sterols that has made female birth control possible. A concern of council is sexism, child rights, Wheels of Council, and Pennsylvania General Assembly legislation. 25 June 2019 action of council sponsored by Ms. Gross. District 7 combines these. Consult Hillary Rodham, Children Under the Law. I quote 3 sections changing one word in each of these sections. Section 3, boys who marry before age 19 are 50% more likely to drop out of high school. Section 4, men who are married in their teenage years tend to have more children. And Section 7, boys have a fundamental right to self-determination. The will of council reads, in sequence, girls, women, girls, in sections 3, 4, and 7. Sexism is discrimination based on sex and gender. In sections 3, 4, and 7, excluding boys and men, males, the wording of Ms. Gross is sexist. Pittsburgh Council, in approving this will of council, is sexist. The Women's Equality Party rejects anti-inclusionism. Mr. O'Connor, in signing on to this will of council, your action is sexist. Yours too. Mr. Lavelle, Mr. Burgess, Mr. Coggle, Mr. Kraus. What's the matter with you boys? Have you suddenly turned XX? A core concept is self-determination. Section 7. No specification. I asked via email Ms. Gross to do so on 5 July 2019. No answer. The Pennsylvania State Senate Bill 81 to amend PA Title 23, Domestic Relations, Section 1304B, minors. There is no reference to self-determination in there. Is the Gross Council meaning consistent with self-determination theory in psychology? Hillary Rodham nowhere used it in her article for the Harvard Education Review. She sent me a copy. This is a print copy if you want it. But I have repeatedly individual choice over social coercive control by others in my tweets on Twitter.
Thank you, Dr. Miller. May we have our next speaker, please? Is there anyone else wishing to address City Council this morning? Okay, seeing no further speakers, we'll close the public comment portion of the council meeting, go into presentation of papers, beginning with Councilman Burgess, our Chair of Finance and Law. Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill Number 1842, resolution authorizing, pursuant to Chapter 210 of the City Code, the mayor and director of the Department of Public Safety to accept a donation from the Jewish Federation of Greater Pittsburgh of $5,000 to be deposited into the Public Safety Support Trust Fund. Bill Number 1843, resolution authorizing the issuance of a warrant in favor of Dickie McCamey and Chillicothe in an amount not to exceed $4,100.80 for professional legal services in connection with police matters. Bill Number 1850, resolution accepting the dedication of a portion of an unnamed way in the Lincoln-Leamington Belmar neighborhood, 12th Ward, 9th Council District.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilman Coghill, our Chair of Urban Recreation.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman. Councilwoman Gross, our Chair of Land Use and Economic Development.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Harris, our Chair of Human Resources.
No new papers, Mr. Kraus.
Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilman Lavelle, our Chair of Public Safety Services. Thank you, Councilman. Councilman O'Connor, our Chair of Intergovernmental Affairs.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill Number 1844, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the White Horse Apartments, 1611 East Carson Street. Bill Number 1845, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for 3350, 3404, and 3404 Penn Avenue and 207 34th Street. Bill Number 1846, resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for the Peterson Sports Complex, 385 Champion Drive.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilwoman Cale Smith, our Chair of Public Works Services.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Councilwoman Cale Smith presents Bill Number 1847, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to apply for grant funding from the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority's Green Revitalization of Our Waterways program to renovate the site surrounding the First Tee Clubhouse located in the Bob O'Connor's Golf Course in Shenley Park. In the event the grant is awarded, This resolution provides for an agreement not to exceed $850,000. Bill number 1884, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of the Department of Public Works to enter into an agreement between the city and 9 Mile Run Watershed Association for the provision of wetland mitigation monitoring and reporting as required by the Pennsylvania Department of Environmental Protection at an amount not to exceed $50,000, distributed over a period of 4 years.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Councilwoman Kell Smith.
Mr. President, I'd like to make a motion to waive rule 8 for Bill 1847 at the request of the administration.
Yep. May I have a second on the motion to waive the rules?
Second.
Second, is there a discussion on the motion to waive the rules for Bill 1847? Okay, seeing none, all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. 1847 will then appear on tomorrow's standing committee agenda. Thank you, Councilwoman. Councilwoman Strasburger, our Chair of Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management.
No new papers, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman. The Chair has several papers. The first is an appointment to the Human Relations Commission.
Council President Kraus presents Bill number 1849, a resolution appointing Michael Gerard Bartley to serve as a member of the Commission on Human Relations for a term to expire July 31st, 2023.
Thank you. Pleasure of council. Thank you so much. Councilwoman?
Motion to interview?
Okay, we're going to have a motion to interview Mr. Bartley to be a member of the Human Relations Commission. Do we have a second?
Second.
I have a second. Do we have discussion on the motion to interview? Seeing none, all in favor, aye. All in favor, aye.
Aye.
Thank you. Opposed, abstentions. Seeing none, we'll bring Mr. Bartley in for interview. Then I have 3 communications. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And I'll need a motion to receive and file on these, please.
Bill 1851, communication from Michael Lamb, City Controller, submitting the popular annual financial report for the fiscal year ending December 31st, 2018. Bill number 1852, communication from Michael Lamb, submitting a physical audit of the City of Pittsburgh's Department of Park and Recreation, Allegheny Regional Asset District, Trust Fund Parks, dated June 13, 2019. Bill number 1853, communication from Jessica Smith Perry, Housing Authority Fund Director, submitting the Housing Authority Opportunity Fund 2018 Annual Report.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. May I have a motion to receive and file, please?
So moved.
Second.
Second. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed, abstentions, so moved. Thank you very much. We move into unfinished business, and without unfinished business before the council, we proceed into reports of committee for final action. Our first committee of the morning is our Committee on Finance and Law. Our chair is Councilman Burgess. Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman Reverend Burgess presents Bill number 1837, report of the Committee on Finance and Law for July 1, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 698, ordinance amending the Pittsburgh Code Title I, Administrative Article 7, Procedures, Chapter 161, Contracts, Competitive Bidding Exceptions. Bill number 1338, ordinance amending and supplementing and correcting the Pittsburgh Code at Title II, Physical Article 1, Administrative, Chapter 219, Operating Budget, so as to add contract and bid information requirements to fiscal impact statements and to further correct numbering and formatting.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of these 2 bills under our Committee on Finance and Law. Is there further discussion on either of the bills? Okay, seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action, and all in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill. Aye. Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Aye. Mrs. Kell Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills then, having received the legally required number of votes, have finally passed. Next, we have our Committee on Human Resources. Our chair is Councilwoman Harris.
Thank you, Mr. Kraus.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Harris presents Bill number 1838, report of the Committee on Human Resources for July 1, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1809, ordinance amending and supplementing the Pittsburgh City Code Title VI Conduct Article 5 Discrimination, unlawful housing practice, unlawful public accommodations, practices to explicitly prohibit employment, housing, and public accommodation, discrimination based on gender identity and gender expression, create more inclusive definitions of protected classes, and adding gender-inclusive language.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of this bill under our Committee on Human Resources. Do we have further discussion on the bill? Okay. I'd only like to recognize Councilwoman Strasburger's work on this bill and to thank you for bringing it to my attention. Thank you. Okay, with that, the bill is now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross. Aye. Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Aye. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Cal Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bill then, having received the legally required number of votes, is finally passed. Our next committee is our Committee on Land Use and Economic Development. Our chair is Councilwoman Deborah Gross.
President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Gross presents Bill number 1839, Report of the Committee on Land Use and Economic Development for July 1, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1803, Ordinance accepting a new street name, Beehive Street, in the 15th Ward of the city, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. Bill number 1804, Ordinance accepting a new name, Eliza Street, in the 15th Ward of the city, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. Bill number 1805, Ordinance accepting a new street name, Guadalupe Place, in the 25th Ward of the city, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee. Bill number 1806, Ordinance accepting a new street name, Hopper Place, in the 6th Ward of the city, as per recommendation by the City of Pittsburgh Addressing Committee.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Further reading and the title of these bills under our Land Use and Economic Development Committee. Is there further discussion on any of the bills? Okay, seeing none, the bills are now ready for final action. All in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Aye. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle.
Aye.
Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Cal Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bills, having received the legally required number of votes, have finally passed. Our next committee is our Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management. Our chair is Councilwoman Erica Strasburger.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilwoman.
Councilwoman Strasburger presents Bill number 1840, Report of the Committee on Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management for July 1, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1815, Resolution authorizing the mayor, city clerk, and/or director of the Department of Innovation and Performance to enter into a contract with Prime Gov Solutions for a legislative management system. The total cost over 5 years shall not exceed $255,912.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of this bill under our Innovation, Performance, and Asset Management Committee. Do we have further discussion on the bill? And seeing none, the bill is now ready for final action, and all in favor of the passage of the bill will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill. Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor.
Aye.
Mrs. Cal Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. The bill having received the legally required number of votes has finally passed. Our final committee of the morning is our Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs. Our chair is Councilman Corey O'Connor.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Councilman.
Councilman O'Connor presents Bill number 1841, Report of the Committee on Intergovernmental Affairs for July 1, 2019, with an affirmative recommendation. Bill number 1735, Resolution requesting the approval of an intermunicipal transfer of a liquor license from Gregory's Restaurant to the applicant Woods House for the premises located at 4604 Monongahela Street, restaurant known as Woods House. Bill number 1807, Resolution adopting plan revision to the City of Pittsburgh's official sewer facilities plan for Bobby Wallow, 200 Ingrid Place. Bill number 1808. Resolution authorizing the city to enter into an agreement to execute Al-Qasan Service Agreement amended by and among the Allegheny County Sanitary Authority, the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority, the Western Westmoreland Municipal Authority, the North Huntingdon Township Municipal Authority, the Township of North Huntingdon, the Penn Township Sewer Authority, and the Township of Penn regarding the Cavettsville Ardara area. Bill number 1828, resolution authorizing the mayor and director of public works on behalf of the city to enter into a three-party agreement or the use of existing agreements between the city and the Pittsburgh Water and Sewer Authority and Essler Landscapes, Inc. as a general contractor for Reitman Park Improvement Project at a cost not to exceed $1,858,319.61, which includes a 7% construction contingency.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. You've heard the reading and the title of these bills under our Intergovernmental Affairs Committee. Further discussion begins with Councilman O'Connor.
Thank you, Mr. President. I would like to make a motion to amend Bill 1735. The amendments in front of you. This came from a public hearing that I was not at, but Council President Kraus was able to get me the information, and I also talked to Councilwoman Gross about this. You guys seem to have more of the liquor license transfers than most of our districts, so I want to thank you guys for that. But Council President Kraus, thank you for talking to the Hazelwood Initiative while I was gone.
Yeah,
So,
thank you, Councilman.
Thank you.
Yeah,
So motion to amend.
Okay, we have a motion to amend. We have a
Second.
second. Councilwoman, do you wish discussion?
Yeah, I just spoke to Councilman O'Connor about this briefly. I'm very excited about the Woods Run or the Woods House revitalization, and I appreciate that there's been community input, so that hopefully it's very exciting for everyone. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is the oldest house in the city?
I believe it is.
Yes,
I know
it's basically like a
Councilwoman
cabin.
Smith has the oldest building.
Yeah, you have the
But I think this might be the oldest
tavern.
house.
Second oldest.
Something like 1758, if I remember the hearing correctly.
This is a very old building. yeah.
1758, so that part's exciting, but this is just the legislation for the liquor license transfer. So just a note, Councilman and Council President, that when we've done community agreements on other pieces of legislation, I had attached them as exhibits, if you'll recall, several times. And so it was like, as attached in Exhibit A. And then when it went off, because it has to go to Harrisburg to the
Right.
PLCB, and I remember distinctly Councilman Burgess asking about it the first time we did it. The PLCB attorney called my office, and I spoke with the attorney and explained what it was. And then when the PLCB presented it to its own board for a vote, they attached
accepted.
my exhibit as a writer on the liquor license that was granted to that establishment, so that that agreement stays with that license at that establishment, even if the ownership changes.
Exactly.
So we're hoping that it does the same thing written this way. This is the first time I've seen one with the amendment in the text of the body, unless you remember differently.
I
That's
don't.
all. So I would just recommend following up with PLCB to explain that it's just like the other ones we've done,
Yeah.
except that it's not attached as an exhibit. That's my only
Yeah, our office,
comment.
we can follow up with that, but thank you for the clarification
Yeah,
on that.
and
Yeah.
congratulations.
Thank you. And Councilwoman Smith wants me to say that the Blockhouse is the oldest building.
It
Oh,
is.
yes,
We
thank
know
you.
that.
Can I just say this, Blockhouse is the Old Stone Tavern in the West End, which was almost 10 years ago.
Designated historic.
Designated as historic, is the second oldest building and still sitting there waiting for some investors. And I'll just say that they have an amazing new person on that group, and he has started a GoFundMe page to help at least mothball preserve the building until we can implement the plan that some amazing CMU student and his professors drafted for the Old Stone Tavern. It's an amazing plan.
Oh,
And I
nice.
just want to say, if anybody cares about historic buildings, they can get in touch with folks for the Old Stone Tavern. They can contact our office, and we'll put them in touch with people for the Old Stone Tavern, because it's an amazing, amazing building, and a lot of good things are happening now that this new person got on board, including trying to preserve the building. So.
Great. Thanks, Councilwoman. Thank you. Okay, further discussion then?
I just want to
Councilman.
know how old the Old Stone Tavern is. Do you have any idea?
Well, older than me, that's all you need to know. So it's archaic, okay?
I think it does.
1700s.
Yeah, I think it does. Yeah. Okay, all right. So the bills are now ready for final action. I ask all in favor of the passage of the bills to vote. I'm sorry, did I? Oh, forgive me, I'm sorry. So we do need to vote on the amendments. So
Yes.
all in favor, aye.
Aye.
Opposed, abstentions. Now we're on the completed bill. Any further discussion on the completed bill? Okay, then none. These bills are now ready for final action. Thank you, Madam Clerk. And all in favor of the passage of the bills will vote aye when their names are called. Those opposed will vote no. And Madam Clerk, would you please call the roll?
Reverend Burgess. Mr. Coghill.
Aye.
Ms. Gross.
Aye.
Mrs. Harris.
Aye.
Mr. Lavelle. Mr. O'Connor. Mrs. Kel-Smith.
Aye.
Ms. Strasburger.
Aye.
Mr. Kraus, President.
Aye.
Ayes 9, noes 0.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Bills having received then the legally required number of votes are finally passed. Next, under motions and resolutions, I do have several meeting announcements. This afternoon at 1:30, Council will be in executive session as it relates to Bill 1801, as that bill relates to a warrant. Also today, Council is holding a Cablecast post agenda and a Cablecast public hearing on Bill 1775 as it relates to the PWSA cooperation agreement. The post agenda will begin at 2 p.m. this afternoon in chambers, and a public hearing will begin this evening at 6 p.m. That too will be housed in council chambers. Also tomorrow, Wednesday, July the 10th, with sessions at 1 p.m. and 1:45 p.m., a briefing is scheduled for members and council staff as it relates to the URA strategic plan update. Also, I will not be in attendance at tomorrow's standing committee meeting. I'll be in Washington, D.C. for 2 days in a conference as it relates to responsible hospitality. Councilwoman Kel-Smith.
I just want to introduce my eldest grandson, Steve, who's in from out of town. I just want to thank him for, he's going to be, Lucky Duck is here with me for 2 weeks. So.
Hey, Steve, welcome.
He was bored out of his mind on
Nice
day
to
one.
have
Let me
you. So, anything else from members? Councilwoman Strasburger.
I just wanted to mention one thing that I realized a couple of weeks ago. So Bill 1809, which we just passed today, I want to thank Council President Kraus for his work on this and support and other council member support, basically has passed almost 50 years to the day that Ordinance 395 was passed in the city of Pittsburgh that added sex to the city code, making it illegal to discriminate on the basis of sex, which was one of the strongest bills in the country at the time and was a real leader. And last evening at Highmark Auditorium, there was an event that celebrated this. A lot of the individuals who are associated with the National Organization for Women and helped get this passed and helped to defend this ordinance all the way up to the U.S. Supreme Court were in attendance. Ellie Smeal spoke, a lot of landmark feminists in Pittsburgh spoke, and a film called Changing the Wannads was premiered. Patricia Ulbrich is the documentarian who produced that film and is going to be creating a virtual exhibit with a lot of the oral history around Pittsburgh feminism and its place in U.S. history. She really, in her speech last night, she really hit home that this kind of fight must be intersectional, and that's why I think it's so sort of coincidental and really important that we keep on fighting these kind of fights, we keep on passing these kind of ordinances and improving our language when we talk about discrimination and make it as intersectional as possible. So I just wanted to thank my colleagues for that and point out that neat sort of full circle turn of events.
Thanks. Thank you, Councilwoman. Further discussion then from members? Okay. Seeing none, can I have a motion to approve the minutes and adjourn the meeting?
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye.